This is a story about how I ended up buying a 36-foot sailboat for $2,000 off of Craigslist ad. Sound sync? 1, 2, 3. My obsession with sailboating started when I met my now wife, Gillian. On our first date, she casually threw offhand, "I plan on living on a boat one day. If that doesn't sound interesting to you, then we should probably not even go on a second date." Of course, I was like, "I love boating. That sounds amazing."
I sail. I'm a sailor. Into the wind with the sky and everything.
But I'd never actually been on a sailboat. I'd never been sailing. I didn't know anything about it. So I threw myself into YouTube and determined to learn as much as I could about boating in general so I could impress Gillian and eventually, convince her that I was really into sailing. And lo and behold, I legitimately got the bug. I legitimately became fascinated with sailing. The result of that is I've spent hours and hours basically getting like an armchair degree in YouTube seamanship, like kind of filling my brain with all the intellectual academic parts of sailing, watching the likes of, Sailing the Vagabond, SV Delos, having them tease us with their tropical adventures around the world. I've watched countless hours of Captain Q and Randay evangelizing on the merits of old sailboats. I've watched Sam Holmes and Wind Hippie solo sailing like all over the world, doing things that absolutely blow my mind. I remember the first time I came across a Sam Holmes video, he was solo sailing from LA to Hawaii. I didn't even know that was possible. I didn't even know you could sail a sailboat by yourself from the west coast of the US basically to any other point in the world. I've been absolutely inspired from the likes of Sailing Yaba or Spirit Animal, who have taken old decrepit boats and brought them back to glory. That's incredible. And I didn't even know that was really possible, but watching people actually do it, I got super inspired and began to wonder if maybe that was something that I could do at some point in the future. Watching all this content about sailing, we really kind of threw ourselves into it. We signed up for sailing classes with our local yacht club right there in Marina del Rey, and that was amazing because all the YouTube watching we had done began to actually make sense because now we could put it in practice. We could actually go out in the ocean and we could learn how to, raise sails. We learned about point of sail. We learned how to, how to tack, how to jibe. We learned how to get in and out of the harbor. And we were just filled with confidence. And we knew that, yes, sailing is for us. This is what we want our future to be about. And we began to actually get serious about sailing and start looking for a sailboat.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay.
Someone had told us once that, before you even think about buying something, you have to look at a lot of boats. And so we did. We went out and we looked up and down the food chain from really affordable boats, 20,000 range, up to boats, in excess of 100K, just to kind of understand the difference. Only looking at used boats, weren't looking at new boats. Eventually we did narrow it down. We found a boat that we really liked, late 70s, and we went as far as to actually get a survey done and to haul it out, get it inspected, have our mechanic come out and inspect the engine. Unfortunately, once we had the results of the survey and the inspection, we couldn't come to terms with the sellers. So we ended up having to walk away from that deal. And that was a real bummer because we thought it was going to be our little dream boat, but the deal just wasn't right, so we walked away.
It won't be looking back and what if we had done this? It's going to be like, it's a big part of it, is how expensive this boat's going to be. So it's a tough one.
As luck would have it, a couple months later, we stumbled across a little fixer-upper house. Woohoo! And we took our little nest egg that we had set aside for a sailboat, and we decided, let's put that into this opportunity to get a little house together. So we jumped on that, and no looking back, great decision, absolutely love our little house. From the front of my house, I can see the local marina down across the way. Every time I'm out there and I can kind of see out to the water, or I can see the marina, it's like this quiet mania. Get on the water, get a sailboat, get on the water,
get a sailboat.
And every time I take a walk, I just kind of somehow magically my feet find a way to the marina so I can sit and just kind of continue to stare at all these gorgeous boats that are out there. I just never expected to be this fascinated with sailing. It caught me by surprise. About 6 months after we moved into our house, you know, I'm still find myself killing time on Craigslist. I can just pop in, you know, our zip code and I can see what's close and see who's selling what, you know, being a little snoop, being a little detective maybe. In doing that, I spotted this ad. Now, I'd seen some YouTube videos about the possibility of buying a sailboat super cheap, either at auction or at lien sale. You know, boats get repossessed just like cars do. And so if you find the right opportunity, maybe that's the way to go. But all the videos I watched, it really did feel fairly sketchy. It felt, you know, like you're taking probably a pretty significant risk. And so I really didn't think I'd ever be interested in that. But still, I could not ignore the price on this ad. $2,000 for a 1970 36-foot Cheoy Lee Looters sloop. I showed Gillian the ad and was like, do you want to go see a boat that only costs $2,000? It's just down the street from us. And she said, yeah, I mean, $2,000, why not? You know, she immediately kind of got interested. So we came down and we took a look at the boat. There she was sitting all alone on a mooring ball for over a year. No love, no TLC, just a sad sailboat waiting for a new owner. And so, you know, we kind of quickly, you know, did a tour of the boat, looked around, and, you know, I didn't get any bad vibes. I felt like, well, I mean, this boat seems okay. We'd been on enough old boats by that point that we had seen some old boats that were being sold for 30 or 40K, that you go on the boat and you're like, this is gonna take like another 30 or 40K to make this boat any good. So to come on this boat and to just see like, well, I mean, it's in disarray and there's bird crap all over the boat. There's actually a seagull like just chilling on the back when we got there. You know, it was in a sad shape, but I couldn't shake the feeling that this might be a good boat. So as we left the marina manager basically said, hey, like, if you're really interested, I'm gonna need to know fast. So we went home and we talked about it for like 2 hours. We did some power research on the internet. We looked up everything we could find. We looked up YouTube videos on other Cheoy Lees. We just basically tried to like find a reason why we shouldn't buy the boat. Basically what it came down to is this. For $2,000, if we could enjoy the boat even for 1 year, without like, you know, having to put a crazy amount of money into the boat, that alone might be worth it. What's the real downside? The real downside is we can't get the engine to come up. We find a horrible leaking hull. We find something that's awful. Well, then we scrap the boat and we've lost $2,000 and we can move on with our lives. We haven't risked our retirement, nothing like that. So we rolled the dice and we said, we called the marina manager back and we said, absolutely, we'll take it. No survey, no inspection, no friends who are expert sailors coming by to take a look. We literally just said, we'll take it, and brought the money over, and he gave us the keys and the paperwork, and we were done. And we owned a boat. Did not see that coming. So now we have a project boat. If you're into the idea of watching a complete boat renovation novice, a complete sailing novice, figure out how to bring this boat back to life, how to make this boat a serviceable coastal cruiser that we can take from Los Angeles to Catalina, tune in, come back, you know, subscribe, hit the like button, do all those things, wish us luck from afar. I'm super excited to figure out what I can do. I'm super excited to see if we can make this boat a boat that we can love for years to come. So hopefully you'll come back and check out the next episode and hang out with us as we figure out like the long laundry list of things that we're gonna have to fix on this boat.